YouTube, welcome back to a new video. I'm Philip Jacob. Today's review is on the all-new BMW X1. So this X1 is the LCI, which means life cycle impulse. So any BMW would stay for 7 years period of time. That is the common time period for a variant, and then it would have a total generation change. So this is the LCI, and this is going to be a BS6 engine. So the diesel engines are BS6. The petrols were BS6 previously also. So let's just go through the design characteristics of the car. So the changes I would specify is first the LED headlamps. So previous headlamp design has been changed. So right now these LEDs, they have extended contents wherein they can turn along with the steering input. The kidney grills have grown in size. So as you can see, compared to the previous, the kidney grills were pretty tinier, whereas they've grown in this. And another major difference is that the fog lamps have been incorporated in the bumpers, which are LED. Previously they were not LEDs, and the color we are seeing today is called as the Storm Bay. So this is the front portion of the car, and the headlights and the grills give a very strong look and sporty look in the front. The BMW X1 comes with two engine options. So one would be the petrol engine, which would come in the Expedition and in the X-Line variant, whereas the diesel engine would be available only in the X-Line variant and the M Sport variant. The petrol engine produces 192 bhp, which is coupled to a 7-speed gearbox, whereas the diesel produces 190 bhp and is coupled to a 8-speed gearbox. The side profile almost remains the same. The major difference you would notice are the alloy wheels. So these are 17-inch alloy wheels along with the run flat tire system in them, and the design has been changed compared to the predecessor. You get the run flat tire system as standard, which can run at 80 km/h speed up to 80 km with zero pressure inside them. And again, as per aerodynamics, you have the air curtains, which are functional in them, which reduces the turbulence inside the wheel arches. You get the electric foldable mirrors with the indicators incorporated in them, and the anti-dazzle function is only for the right exterior mirror and the interior rear view mirror. So what it does is that it dims out the high beam being projected from the rear and avoids dazzling your sight. And when you open the fuel flap, the new thing you would see is this blue cap written as AdBlue. So this is as per the BS6 norms. So the AdBlue liquid is the one responsible, along with the BS6 fuel, which reduces the emissions out of the new cars. So while checking at the rear, another major difference you would notice at the rear would be the tail lamps. So right now we have a completely LED tail lamp, and again, another difference is that the bumpers have been reworked. So there's a little bit of body color on the bumpers also with a skid plate. The exhaust pipes diameter have grown in size, and just like the predecessor, it has the rear view camera and the sensors incorporated in the rear bumper. And so while checking the boot of the car, you have the same amount of space as the predecessor, and you have the seats which can be folded in 40, 20 and 40 split. Previously there used to be electric knobs on the side which would fold down the seats, whereas presently it has to be done manually. You also get a 12-volt charger point at the back and few cubby storage areas, and underneath you have a spare wheel, which is a donut wheel, which can be used in emergency situations. So right now we are seated in the interior of the BMW X1, and you would be able to notice the major change immediately. So the main thing you would notice is the 8.8-inch touchscreen system, which is standard in the X-Line and the N Sport variant. So previously it used to be a smaller screen, so right now you have the bigger screen with ID6 with touch functionality. It also has wireless Apple CarPlay. So now when we are coming to the steering wheel, you have the steering wheel with the cruise control and the speed limiter. The previous pre-LCI did not have the cruise control, whereas this is updated with the cruise control, which is a big plus. And on the right hand side you have the controls for the media and for your mobile phone. On the left hand side you have the paddle shifter for downshift and the right hand side for upshift. So just behind the steering wheel you have the stock, which is a control for your headlamps and again the indicators. You have this button called as BC, which is the onboard computer. So when I press this, you'll be able to notice on the instrument cluster you get various information necessary for you. For example, the engine's temperature, your range, your mileage, extra as such. Same thing when you're coming to the right, you have the controls for your windshield wipers for the front and the rear. And the instrument cluster would be an analog instrument cluster which has an image which looks as it is digital, that is especially the dials. But down below, the small screen which you see, that is completely digital. And again, when you come to the side, you have the controls for the headlamps, which is just like the previous itself. And you have the controls for your mirrors and your windows. Another update in this is that this car comes with ambient lightings. So the previous car had only red and white color, whereas this car has 6 combinations, so it gives a better ambience at night. And while going through the center console, another new addition on the design is that there is contrast stitching on them, on the leather. So this is more premium, and compared to the predecessor did not have this stitching on them. And when you're going down, you have the controls for your AC. So this is a 2-zone AC, and going down you have a place where you can open up, and you have 2 cup holders with a 12-volt charging point and a small space there. Another major difference is, again, previously the gear shifter used to be mechanical, whereas right now it is electric, and this is an 8-speed gearbox as mentioned before. You have the different driving modes. By default it is in comfort, and you have the Eco Pro and the Sport mode. This is the button for your traction control. Going down, you have the iDrive controller, the toggle switch, you have the fast dial buttons, and you have an electric parking brake. And on the handrest you have separate spaces. So this is one space where you can keep smaller items like mobile phones or some papers, whereas down below you have a much more deeper space, again, which has a USB slot and a 12-volt charging point also. And so right now we are seated at the rear, and just like the predecessor, there is no much difference in the space. So this gets the best in class headroom, legroom and shoulder room. And when you check the center console, you have 2 AC vents with the controller for your airflow, and you have 2 C-port charging points at the back. So again, it's an advantage for you for fast charging and for charging of laptops also. And on the doors, as you can notice, you have the ambient lightings running on the rear doors also, which is again with the 6 colors. And the leather inside this is synthetic leather. Only the M Sport variant would be receiving Dakota leather. And apart from that, the car also comes with a panoramic sunroof, which is a standard thing. Why I meant standard is because even the entry level would be receiving a panoramic sunroof. That is, the Expedition, the X-Line and the M Sport will have a standard sunroof. As mentioned in the beginning of the video, there are going to be 3 variants. So the first variant would be the Expedition, the second would be the X-Line variant, and the third would be the M Sport variant. So in this, the petrol engine is common for the Expedition and the X-Line, whereas the diesel would be common only for the X-Line and the M Sport. So the X-Line variant, you will have the petrol and diesel options. And again, the car comes only with 2-wheel drive. So previously the M Sport used to have a 4-wheel drive option, whereas presently all the variants you will have only 2-wheel drive options, and in the Expedition you will have only petrol. So that's all about the BMW X1 2020. I'll see you guys in another video with another car. If you like this video, please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much.